When a man looks at you, what does he really see first? It's not the dress you chose, not your hair, not even the years you've lived. What he feels first is your energy. The quiet between your words, the calm in your eyes, or the tension behind your smile. Many women after 40 start to wonder if they've become invisible, if time has dimmed the kind of attention they used to receive. But men who have grown up a little, who have lived enough to know the difference between attraction and connection, are drawn to something far deeper. They notice peace, they notice presence, they notice when a woman has come home to herself. If you've ever asked yourself whether love can still find you, whether you can still be fully seen and wanted for who you are now, stay with me. This conversation might change how you see yourself. And if you hear a piece of your own story here, like the video, subscribe, and share your experience in the comments. Part 1, The First Glance, more about calm than beauty. The first thing a man really notices is not your face, your dress, or the number on your driver's license. What stays with him is how he feels in your presence. There is something almost invisible about it, but powerful. When a woman walks into a room fully in her body, calm and at ease, it changes the air. A man can sense that she is not performing, not waiting for his approval. She is simply there, steady, present, and it makes him feel safe. It's not about confidence in the loud, showy way people talk about. It's the quiet kind, the kind that comes when you no longer need to prove that you are enough. Men pick up on that energy before they even understand what it is. It makes them breathe easier. It draws them in without effort. Claire, 52, once told me about her first date after 15 years of being single. She expected to feel nervous, to plan every word, but that morning she decided to do something different. She put on something simple, looked in the mirror, and said softly, "I'm here to connect." At dinner, she didn't try to impress him. She smiled, asked him about his day, and really listened. Later, he told her, "I felt seen, not judged. That is the quiet power of presence." When you are at peace in your own skin, it gives others permission to relax. They can feel that they don't need to earn your attention or fill every silence. That is what makes first moments memorable. Not perfection, not charm, but the ease between two people who have nothing to prove. Before your next date, take a few slow breaths. Feel your feet on the floor, your heart steady in your chest. Remind yourself that you don't need to perform. You are not arriving to be inspected. You are arriving to share space, to see if this person feels right beside you. That shift, small as it sounds, changes everything. Because calm is magnetic. The woman who knows how to rest in her own presence doesn't chase attention. She becomes the kind of woman people quietly lean toward, just to feel that peace for a moment. Part 2. Authenticity. The beauty of being unapologetically you. Authenticity is one of the most magnetic qualities a woman can have. It's not about being perfect or fearless. It's about being real. When what you say, feel, and do all align, people can sense it. Men especially can feel when your presence is genuine. They might not know why, but they're drawn to that calm honesty, the feeling that you're not performing, not seeking approval, just being yourself. Authenticity doesn't mean saying everything that comes to mind. It means your words come from truth, not from fear. It's when your smile matches your energy and your silence feels comfortable instead of guarded. That kind of presence builds trust. It shows that you know who you are and aren't afraid to live from that place. Marianne, 47, used to try too hard to be liked. She thought being easygoing would make her lovable, so she agreed to everything: where to eat, what to talk about, even what to feel. But inside, she felt invisible. One evening, tired of pretending, she looked at the man she was dating and said quietly, "I need someone who tells the truth even when it's hard to hear." That simple moment shifted everything. Some people drifted away, but the ones who stayed began to meet her with honesty, too. That's what authenticity does. It filters what doesn't belong. It doesn't chase, it attracts. When you stand in your truth, you invite others to do the same. The wrong ones leave, and the right ones lean in. If you want to practice authenticity, start small. Before you speak, pause for a breath and ask yourself, am I saying this because it's real for me, or because I'm afraid of how I'll be seen? If it's fear, stay quiet. Silence can speak louder than forced words, and when you finally do speak, let it come from your heart, not from the need to be accepted. Men aren't drawn to flawless women. They're drawn to women who feel grounded and trustworthy. A woman who is comfortable in her truth makes others feel safe in theirs. When a man feels that, he doesn't have to play a role either. Authenticity gives both people permission to be human. The beauty of being unapologetically yourself is that it naturally sorts your world. You stop trying to convince anyone of your worth. You stop shrinking to fit in. You let your real self breathe, and that light draws in what's meant for you. In the end, authenticity isn't about getting someone to love you. It's about loving yourself enough to stop pretending. Because when you show up real, love stops feeling like a game. It becomes a meeting place where two people can simply say, "This is me," and still stay. Part 3: Acceptance. The soft power that makes him stay. Acceptance is one of the quietest, yet strongest forms of love. It doesn't mean lowering your standards or pretending to be okay with everything. It means letting someone be who they are without trying to mold them into your version of better. Real acceptance says you are safe to be yourself here, and when a man feels that safety, something inside him relaxes, his walls drop, his breathing slows. That's when real connection begins. Men stay where they can exhale. They stay where they don't have to perform, impress, or compete. When a man feels that your calm energy allows him to just be, he starts to trust you, not because you're perfect, but because he feels peace in your presence. Elena, 58, once met a man who seemed to have it all together: successful, smart, confident, but she sensed a heaviness behind his smile. Most people tried to impress him or match his pace. Elena didn't. During dinner, she looked at him and said softly, "You don't need to try to impress me." For a moment, he froze. Then he leaned back, let out a long breath, and said, "Thank you. I get tired of always having to prove myself." Later, he told her that was the first time in years he felt like he could just be himself. That's what true acceptance does. It gives someone permission to breathe. But acceptance begins within. You can't give someone peace you don't have. Before you can make space for another person's humanity, you must learn to hold your own with compassion. Start by noticing how you talk to yourself. Write down 3 things you often criticize about yourself, then rewrite them as gentle truths. "I'm too emotional" becomes "I feel deeply, and that's a gift." "I take too long to heal" becomes "I heal carefully, and that's okay." This practice isn't small. It changes how you show up in love. When you are kind to yourself, you become softer with others. You stop needing them to be perfect to feel safe. You stop trying to fix what isn't yours to fix. And that's when love starts to feel easier. Acceptance doesn't mean ignoring red flags or losing your boundaries. It means choosing peace over control. You can love someone deeply and still say no to what doesn't align with your values. That balance of compassion and clarity is what makes acceptance powerful. Men crave emotional safety just as women crave being heard. When both exist, love feels like home. The kind of woman a man stays with is the one who makes him feel free to be real. She doesn't try to rescue him or polish him. She lets him rest in truth. Because in the end, the strongest kind of love isn't loud or demanding. It's the quiet understanding that says, "You can be yourself here." Part 4: Fun over fire, choosing joy instead of drama. Fun is deeply underrated. When people think of attraction, they often imagine sparks, passion, or long, serious conversations about life. But for a grown man, what keeps him close isn't intensity, it's ease. Mature men are not drawn to drama or chaos. They're drawn to women who bring a sense of joy, lightness, and calm. Fun doesn't mean being the loudest one in the room or always having plans to fill the silence. It's about knowing how to find warmth in simple moments. It's being able to laugh at yourself, to roll with what life brings instead of trying to control it. There's something irresistible about a woman who knows how to let things be imperfect and still find joy. Ruth was 60 when she went on her first date in years. She spent hours getting ready, feeling both excited and nervous. But as soon as she stepped out of the car, the rain came pouring down. Her hair flattened, her makeup smudged, her outfit soaked. For a moment, she wanted to cry. Then she caught her own reflection in the car window and started laughing. "I guess the sky wants to see how patient I am," she said, half joking, half sincere. Her date laughed too. They found a small coffee shop, ordered tea, and talked for 2 hours while the storm passed. Later, he told her, "That was the moment I knew you were different." That's the kind of woman men remember, the one who doesn't crumble when things don't go according to plan, the one who can turn a small disaster into a story worth smiling about. Because a woman who can laugh through imperfection is a woman who gives others permission to relax. She makes life feel less like a test and more like a moment worth enjoying. There's a quiet strength in choosing joy. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means knowing that peace is always an option. It means catching yourself when conversation turns bitter or negative and gently steering it somewhere lighter. If a date starts complaining about work or someone else, you can simply say, "Let's save that for later. Tell me what's made you smile recently." It's not avoidance. It's emotional leadership. And when you choose not to speak badly about your ex, your friends, or anyone who isn't there, you send a message. You show that your energy is your own, not shaped by resentment or gossip. That kind of energy feels rare. It feels refreshing. Fun is not about being entertaining. It's about being peaceful enough to enjoy what is. It's what happens when you stop trying to manage everything and start letting life breathe a little. The truth is, joy is magnetic. You don't have to create it. You just have to stop resisting it. When a man meets a woman who carries quiet happiness, he doesn't want to fix her or win her over. He simply wants to stay close, hoping some of that peace might rub off on him too. Part 5, the drive to grow, love that expands, not exhausts. The most beautiful relationships aren't the ones where nothing ever changes. They're the ones where two people keep growing, side by side, without losing their sense of self. Love doesn't stay alive because everything is perfect. It stays alive because both people are willing to keep expanding, learning, and meeting each other again and again at new levels of understanding. Men appreciate women who make them want to grow, not through pressure or competition, but through quiet inspiration. It's that feeling of being near someone who doesn't demand improvement, but somehow makes you want to show up better. A healthy man doesn't need a savior or a mother. He wants a partner who can walk with him while both of them are still learning how to love better. Grace was 54 when she met David, 56. After years of guarding her heart, she had decided she was done with trying. But David was different. He didn't rush her. He didn't talk about forever. He just said, "Let's build something slow." One day, he suggested they read a book together, just one chapter each week, then share what stood out. That small ritual became their favorite part of Sunday mornings. Over time, the books changed, but the habit stayed. They didn't fix each other. They simply grew together. Grace once said, "He never needed me to lift him up. He just wanted someone who would walk beside him." That's what mature love looks like. Real love isn't about finding someone who completes you. It's about finding someone whose growth matches your own pace, someone whose curiosity mirrors yours, someone who still wants to evolve, not because they're dissatisfied, but because life keeps inviting them to become more whole. That kind of love feels calm. It's not fireworks. It's a steady flame that lasts through time. If you want to build that kind of relationship, try something small. At the end of each week, ask each other 2 questions. First, what made you feel grateful this week? Second, what's one thing we could do just a little better next week? These questions open the door to gentle reflection without blame. They remind both of you that love is not about being right. It's about being present enough to grow together. There's a quiet truth in all of this. Love isn't a project to manage or perfect. It's a garden that grows when tended with care. Some days it will need sunlight. Other days it will need patience. But if both people keep showing up, the roots deepen and the blooms return. So don't look for someone who promises never to change. Look for someone willing to change with you. Because love that expands will never exhaust you. It will keep you both alive, curious, and quietly grateful that you found each other when you were ready to grow. Have you ever wondered why, even when you know you deserve love, you still worry you're not enough? It's because most of us were taught to be chosen, not to choose peace. We learned how to please, to wait, to fit in, but not how to rest in who we already are. Real attraction doesn't come from effort. It comes from stillness, from the quiet confidence of a woman who knows herself and no longer hides her past. Men feel that calm even if they can't explain it. They're drawn to the light of a woman who has made peace with her story, not the one trying to cover it. So maybe it's time to change the questions. Instead of asking, "Am I beautiful enough?" ask, "Am I true to myself?" Instead of wondering, "Will he choose me?" ask, "Can we both feel at peace together?" Because when you stop chasing love and start living from peace, the right kind of love will find its way to you. In the end, it's simple. The kind of woman a man never forgets is the one who brings him peace, not perfection. She's honest, she's accepting, she knows how to laugh, and she keeps growing. A man may be drawn to beauty, but he stays for calm. You don't need to be younger, prettier, or better. You just need to be present, real, and willing to believe that you are already enough. Because love that lasts doesn't chase excitement. It rests quietly in truth. If something in this video felt like your own story, I'd love to hear it. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below so we can keep this conversation real. And if these words brought you a little peace tonight, like the video, subscribe, and pass it to a friend who might need a reminder that love can still be gentle.